Hamas war is sparking violence in the U.S.
And in sports, Ohio football prepares for the Battle of the Bricks against Miami. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Ethan Sargent.
And I'm Reese Thompson. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. Over the weekend, a nonprofit organization aiming to build affordable homes in southeast Ohio hosted a fundraiser.
Newswatch reporter Silver Barker was at the event and explains the impact.
This is going to be the finish line.
These joggers are up early to run for a cause much more meaningful than just a healthy workout. Dressed in fun costumes, this group of people and their pets joins together to support Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity, a volunteer-based organization, works to build affordable and improved houses in southeast Ohio. Advocacy coordinator Alex Balson says the organization is setting an ambitious goal for the year 2025.
That we're going to build 25 houses through the year 2025, which is crazy and like a lot faster than we've been building houses. So we're super excited about that.
The money collected from this 5K fundraiser will go towards their new campaign, 25 through 25, raising over $200. Bolson says she is surprised by the turnout of this event.
We were super pleasantly surprised by the turnout today. A lot of times when we have events like this, we'll get people signed up like the day or two before, so we never really know what to expect leading up.
But many joggers say they are happy to support a feel-good event like this.
Just something that was not associated with school and all the stress associated with that. Just like something with the community, something for a good cause. Yeah.
And for some, this run is also a personal accomplishment.
I was kind of hoping that I could get sub 19 minutes this race. It's been a couple years since I've run a 5K.
For Habitat for Humanity, the money raised from this event marks a community accomplishment, coming together to care for their neighbors. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Silver Barker in Athens.
The weekend fundraiser comes just as Habitat for Humanity of the Mid-Ohio Valley hands over the keys to their 114th home. And I know that the weather this weekend was a little bit chillier, but for an update on that weather, here's Newswatch forecaster Emily Dietz. Is it going to stay the same this upcoming week?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you see it, it's actually going to warm up. So, I've really been enjoying these fall weather conditions outside.
Me
my
too.
sweatshirt's been broken out. I don't know about you guys, the blankets and everything.
I had my nice pullover on yesterday watching the OU soccer game. It was really nice.
I like the essence of fall, but I like the actual sunny part of summer. So now that we have both, I am a happy girl.
Exactly. Well, at least tonight, though, we're expecting a frost advisory through Newark and Lancaster and just in the corner of Athens. So it'll still be a fairly chilly night tonight, even though we said we are expecting those warmer conditions throughout the day tomorrow and into later next week. But overnight last night, we saw temperatures reach down into the upper 20s. So it was another chilly night. I know I had a couple of extra blankets on my bed last night because it was pretty cold outside. But right now we're seeing some beautiful conditions outside. It's about 64 right now with those clear skies as well. Not too humid either. So really, really nice day overall. Now, part of the reason we're seeing such nice conditions outside is due to this high pressure that's really sitting over our area. And you can't really tell too well on this map. But when you have high pressure in the northern hemisphere, it creates a sort of clockwise rotation of air sort of spinning around it. And that's kind of helping keep everything just away from us. And it's a really well developed system. So we're not anticipating any storms for the next couple of days. But we may be seeing some rain this weekend. And I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But that warm weather is going to come from this warm front sitting over here in the Great Plains area. And with this high pressure system and this warm front, it's going to be pulling a lot of warm air up from the Gulf towards us, and that's where we're going to be seeing those 70 light conditions outside. But as far as tonight goes, we're expecting a low of 36 and some gorgeous clear skies. So if you enjoy looking at the stars and also freezing outside, tonight is a great night for you because it's going to be a chilly but also clear skies. Be sure to stay tuned to my full forecast. So we're going to look at how this warm weather and rainy weather this weekend is going to impact you. Back over to the desk.
Thanks, Emily. Ohio University is offering a new scholarship for first-year students in extreme financial need. The President's Opportunity Promise Award is a renewable scholarship for federal Pell Grant eligible students with a minimum 3.0 GPA in high school. According to the Department of Education, Pell students are those who display exceptional financial need and have not earned a degree. The program will cover the remaining costs of in-state tuition and mandatory fees after Pell and other gift aid. The university says the scholarship will increase higher education access for qualifying Pell-eligible students. A Gallia County man is dead after an officer-involved shooting. Gallia County Sheriff's Office says deputies arrived at a home in Huntington Township yesterday morning. They were attempting to locate an individual wanted by police. After announcing themselves, deputies were met with gunfire from inside the home. Deputies responded, wounding the suspected individual shooting at them. The man eventually succumbed to his injuries. No identity for the man shot has been released.
Ohio is planning to purchase $20 million worth of fixed-rate Israel bonds. Ohio Treasurer Robert Sprague announced the bonds will mature in 5 years with an interest rate of 5.74%. Every Ohio treasurer since 1993 has invested in these bonds, and with this purchase, Ohio will hold a total of $187.5 million in Israel bonds. Longtime state legislator Kirk Schuring from Canton has been hospitalized with undisclosed health issues. The second in command in the state, senator from the Republican Party, missed several voting sessions this year, including when lawmakers voted on the state budget bill. Schuring is the second longest serving state legislator with 31 years of tenure. His term runs through 2026.
Akron is going to see new improvements in regional technology and innovation as it was chosen as the hub to receive funding. Akron was awarded a $400,000 strategy development grant from the University of Akron and the Greater Akron Chamber for Sustainable Polymers. The Tech Hub's programs come from the CHIPS Act, which is aimed to strengthen a region's capacity to manufacture, commercialize, and deploy technologies. Ohio's U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown announced the selection after he urged the Commerce Department to choose a project located in Ohio. Still ahead, as the Israel fighting results in more deaths and injuries, U.S. violence connected with the conflict increases. And where the House speakership stands after Ohio Representative Jim Jordan left the race.
Warm weather is on the way towards us. Find out how this will impact you when Newswatch returns.
During the Armenian genocide, 14-year-old Aurora lost everything. Through vivid animation and century-old footage, experience a forgotten story of survival.
And that's me, Aurora.
Aurora's Sunrise on POV.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
Better than ever. Wanna be great. This is the moment that history's made. Nothing can stop us, ain't seen nothing yet. The lights are on and now the stage is set. This is the day a new dawn is near. The future's here. Welcome to the future.
If you want your life to get better, you got to fight for it.
Welcome to the future.
She just disappeared off the face of the planet.
I want her to know that I'm not mad at her.
Mom?
5 years ago, I was diagnosed with ALS.
Where is the mother of the bride?
I am an American and I have every right like anybody else.
You have to figure out and learn where you come from.
Why do we need to talk about race in medicine?
Why talk about race?
That's a great question. Not knowing where to start, we often choose inaction.
But we know this has to change. It is important to call it out.
We need everyone's perspective to come together.
We turn to our friends and colleagues and ask them to tell us their stories.
This show is an invitation to settle in and listen.
Thursday at 10 on WOUB.
More than 430 people are dead after overnight strikes on Gaza, as reported by the Palestinian Health Ministry. Cole Higgins has the latest on what Israeli Defense Forces say they struck and why. We want to warn you, some of the images and subject matter are extremely graphic and may be hard to hear or see.
Victims pulled from buildings bombed to ruins in Gaza. Parts of neighborhoods now reduced to rubble.
Intensified Israeli airstrikes killing hundreds in a bloody 24 hours in Gaza. Among the dead, children. Some parents in Gaza have resorted to writing their children's names on their legs to help identify them should either they or the children be killed.
People gave me these two babies. They are injured by the bombing.
At least a dozen hospitals and dozens more medical centers are now out of service in Gaza. Doctors warn many infants relying on ventilators will not survive if electricity is cut off.
Unfortunately, at the moment, we have no any medical supply. The essential drugs, which is essential drugs as life-saving for baby in the first 2 hours of life.
Humanitarian supplies have now begun to trickle into the region, none of it much needed fuel. Gaza now more than 7,000 aid trucks short of normal deliveries.
What we need is a significant scaling up of a supply line into Gaza, and it needs to be sustained and it needs to be uninterrupted.
With a ground invasion into Gaza appearing imminent, the Israeli military say their soldiers are now taking part in training exercises to improve their readiness and capabilities for ground operations. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Over in the United States, homicide investigators in Michigan are searching for a suspect after a prominent synagogue president was found dead over the weekend. While authorities have not linked the death to anti-Semitism, the case is still illuminating growing concerns over potential violence spurred by the Israel-Hamas war. Near Chicago, the mother of a 6-year-old boy stabbed to death last week is herself now home from the hospital. The family's 71-year-old landlord is charged in the case. Police say he allegedly attacked them because they were Muslim, and a federal hate crime investigation is underway. In another Chicago suburb, a protest and counter-protest led to at least 2 people being arrested. In Minneapolis, police say a car was deliberately driven through a crowd attending a pro-Palestinian rally yesterday. Authorities have not made an arrest, and no injuries were reported. Beyond the fighting, concerns are growing over how the conflict may affect global oil supplies from the region. While neither Israel nor Gaza is a significant oil supplier, there are concerns that the conflict will broaden to other countries in the region, driving investor fears to a possible tightening on global oil supplies. The focus being on Iran as a major oil producer. Cheaper winter gas blends combined with decreased demand are helping to keep prices low.
A lot of the seasonality that's pushing prices down is really winning that tug of war, and that's helping to keep gasoline prices declining, even as oil prices have gone.
DeHaan says the national average has decreased for 5 straight weeks, and by later this week, the national average could fall to its lowest level since March. Brent crude oil prices opened at above $91 today, which is the international oil benchmark. So far, the fluctuations have not impacted the gas pumps. Meanwhile, House Republicans are still on the hunt for a new Speaker of the House, leaving Congress in a stalemate. Republicans are expected to hold a candidate forum tonight to look for someone to succeed Representative Kevin McCarthy, who was ousted earlier this month. Ohio Representative Jim Jordan exited the race Friday after 3 failed bids. Numerous Republicans have thrown their hats into the political ring, but the House cannot pass any legislation until a speaker is confirmed. If no policy bills or government funding bills can pass by November 17th, the U.S. will go broke. The Democrats in the House say teamwork is needed to get back on track.
Chaos, dysfunction, and extremism has to end, and the only way to do it is to figure out how we can partner in a bipartisan fashion to reopen the House.
Any lawmaker that runs for House Speaker needs to get 217 votes to win the gavel. Some have suggested boosting interim Speaker Patrick McHenry's power in order to break the impasse, but there is widespread opposition to that idea within the GOP.
Good evening. We have had some gorgeous weather down here in Athens, Ohio. Right now it's about 64 degrees outside with these gorgeous, gorgeous clear skies. And part of the reason we're seeing such clear conditions outside is due to this really extensive high pressure system that we're seeing along the East Coast and popping into Ohio ever so slightly. And with this high pressure system, it's really keeping a lot of these clouds out of the way, and it's going to be hanging around for a while. But over towards the west, just ever so slightly, is this low pressure system with a bit of a warm front developed with it. Now the direction of this warm front is the direction that this low pressure system will be moving, so it'll be moving up towards that Great Lake area, but we'll be receiving just the warm tail end of this. So what's going to happen is this high pressure system is moving in a clockwise direction, and it's going to pull warm air up along with that warm front, leaving us with temperatures that are very similar to what we're seeing in the Great Plains now in the 76-degree range. But as far as tonight goes, we're not expecting any warming just yet. We're actually going to see a frost advisory around Lancaster and Newark area and just north into Athens. And that's going to be because we're seeing temperatures tonight, at least in Athens, as low of 36. And if you're in Lancaster and Newark, we'll be seeing slightly lower than that into the low 30s. But we will be seeing some gorgeous clear skies, so those stars will be out and they will be bright and they will be beautiful. But tonight, that warm front is going to continue to make its way over towards the east. And by tomorrow, that's when we'll really see that warming with that high of 73 degrees. And that high pressure system is still going to be hanging around, so we're still going to see those beautiful, beautiful sunny skies. And that'll also be having an impact on our overnight lows. So last night we saw temperatures reach down to about 29 degrees, but tomorrow we're going to be seeing that low of 49. So that warm front is really going to be having a big impact on our weather for this upcoming week. Now tomorrow, once again, that high pressure system is still going to be hanging around here with that warm front passing. And we're also taking a look at what's starting to develop out to the west. So tomorrow night, another clear night. This high pressure is still circulating around in this area, but by Wednesday we see a very extensive stationary front that's sort of picking up some rain right along with it, but we still have that high pressure system around. So what's going to happen is this high pressure is going to act as sort of a barrier for all of this rain. So we'll be seeing some cloud coverage going on into Wednesday and Thursday, especially since we'll be right on the edge of the system. But for the most of this system is going to continue to arc over top of us. So we're not expecting any rain on Wednesday or Thursday from this. We'll continue to see some gorgeous warm temperatures outside. And as we move through later this week, Friday, that's when we start to see the edge of that low pressure system and the edge of that stationary front where we'll be touching into that rain. And Saturday, we see that 40% chance of showers. Still warm outside, so that'll be nice for any upcoming Halloween festivities. That rain will be really in the early morning hours of Saturday into the late evening hours of Saturday. And Sunday and Monday, we'll be seeing off and on showers throughout the day. And again, a very warm, not really feeling like fall week ahead of us. Back over to the desk.
Thanks, Emily. In a surprise move, 6,800 United Auto Workers are walking out of a Stellantis plant in Metro Detroit. The UAW says Stellantis has the worst proposal on the table as it continues to negotiate with the manufacturer, as well as Ford and General Motors. This marks the second time in recent days the UAW has ordered a surprise strike at a high-profile facility. As of now, more than 40,000 auto workers are on strike as it enters its 6th week. Most adults in the U.S. recognize a lump as a potential warning sign of breast cancer, but less than half can identify most of the other red flags associated with the disease, according to a survey by the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center. Mandy Gaither has 5 inflammatory breast cancer signs you may not know about.
It's rare but aggressive, and early detection of inflammatory breast cancer could mean the difference between life and death.
By the time we catch an inflammatory breast cancer, 1/3 of patients will already have metastatic disease, meaning that the cancer has spread outside of the breast and lymph node areas.
Because of that, survival rates are generally not as high for inflammatory breast cancer as they are for other types of the disease. This form of cancer doesn't often start with a lump and may not show up on a mammogram, according to the American Cancer Society. There are 5 different signs and symptoms to watch out for: an orange peel-like texture or dimpling of the skin, feeling of heaviness, tightening of the skin, engorgement of the breast, and an infection-like redness or swelling.
Many physicians don't even think of it as breast cancer signs or symptoms, and patients will often get multiple rounds of antibiotics before they ever get to a breast biopsy.
Dr. Sachin Gerard with Ohio State's Comprehensive Cancer Center says if you notice any of the signs, to see a doctor who's aware of this form of the disease immediately.
So the patient can get appropriate workup with imaging and biopsy. That's the most important thing.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Coming up in sports, it's rivalry week. Hear how Ohio football's win against the Battle of the Bricks will affect them this week. And for the latest from Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
What is it, Billy?
That's the bloke who gave Mr. Sink up to the pamphlets.
Assassination attempt.
Assassination? He was caught up in the blast. They say he's injured.
Gentlemen, welcome to paradise. My employers, they would like an expansion. I can't have dirty money sloshing through my affairs. These are not people to say no to.
They're starting a manhunt. There's too many prying eyes here.
People would talk.
People always talk.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
Remember? First impressions.
This is just the beginning to a change in fortunes.
I'm awake. I feel like I've opened my eyes. The world is changing.
I think we should take it to the next level.
I thought that was rather jolly. So much fun.
You make a good team.
And what will you tell the child when they ask where their dad is?
There's a war. I'll tell them you're dead.
If we can find him, we'll get him.
I'm here to make sure justice gets done. I really love you more than anything.
It's really loud.
Shall we?
Fortune favors the bold.
It feels more like the start of something than the end.
On Masterpiece.
British lads, took the road to Benghazi with no more trouble than
Welcome to the British Indian Army.
There's wounded coming in from Libya.
Every time I survive, they give me a more dangerous job.
It's nothing to do with choice or love, for that matter.
What if I were to recruit you to work for me?
To do what?
To fight, of course.
World on Fire on Masterpiece. Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm Donovan Varney here with sports. Ohio football sets up an important date with Miami in its win over the Western Michigan Broncos. The football team handled business against Western Michigan to remain undefeated on the Frank. They were led by an impressive performance from wide receiver Sam Wiggless. The graduate student finished the day with a career-high 155 receiving yards and one nasty toe tap in the back of the end zone. This helped the Bobcats secure bowl eligibility for the season. Here's what head coach Tim Albin had to say about the Bobbies going bowling.
I'm bowl eligible. That's out of the way. You know, we've got 5 expectations or goals, you know, and they're all still out there. We're going to continue to enjoy this journey and still continue to take them one at a time.
After their narrow victory last week, the Bobcats now shift their focus to their longtime rival, Miami University. The Battle of the Bricks is a game that both teams are bound to have circled on their calendars, not just for rivalry reasons, and fans should be prepared for an excitement-filled matchup.
Again, it's rivalry week, you know, and it's fun for everybody. It's fun for the staff, the fans, the student section, the alum. It's all the similarities in academics and closeness in all the years, right? It's what college football is all about.
The anticipated rivalry game is set to be held at 3:30 on Frank Solich Field this Saturday. This Sunday, Ohio soccer welcomed Eastern Michigan to the pitch and secured a much-needed conference win to stay alive ahead of the quickly approaching MAC tournament. The matchup was scoreless until the 52nd minute when senior Aubrey Rhea booted this one in to put the Bobcats up 1. They would keep it close the rest of the game, but maintain the lead thanks to goalkeeper Celeste Sloma's big save in the final minutes to put the nail in the coffin. Head coach Aaron Rodgers spoke about the importance of Sunday's victory ahead of the MAC tournament.
We want to, either way, if we finish the season on Thursday or if we continue on in the MAC tournament, we want to put a good performance together and really to honor those that will be potentially their last game. They've all given so much to this program.
The Bobcats will host Akron this Thursday at Chesapeake Field for their regular season finale. After a series sweep against Miami this weekend, an Ohio volleyball player is securing some well-deserved hardware. Freshman Emily Waddle has earned MAC East Defensive Player of the Week honors after an impressive 13 blocks on the weekend. This is the freshman's first time as a Player of the Week recipient. Waddle and the Bobcats are sitting at second place in the MAC East after their victories this weekend. The field hockey team secured a tournament spot in their blowout victory against Bellarmine on Friday. Fifth-year forward Caitlin Whittle led the way for the Bobcats, tallying 5 goals and 2 assists in their 8-2 victory. Whittle brought her season total up to 17 goals, and the Bobcats sit at third in the MAC standings with 2 games remaining. Bobcats will head to North Carolina on Friday to face Appalachian State in what will be their last conference game this season.
Coming up after the break, just how old was the oldest dog in the world? That story's still ahead.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, we're looking back at our 2008 visit to the scenic city, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That's amazing.
Gary, why did you start collecting art pottery?
My doctor told me to get a hobby.
I'm thrilled. I don't think my father would be able to believe it.
Did the value of these treasures go up, down, or stay the same? Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow, Vintage Chattanooga, Hour 1.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
It's incredible. It's like going back in a time machine.
The most amazing thing about life is how it bounces back.
Our spies find ways of thinking that must be seen to be believed.
This is the closest our planet has ever been to going back to square one.
There was a huge amount of competition to show off who was really ahead in the progress race.
Wednesday on WOUB.
Straight into trouble. Way down deep, you're just a shadow as me. Had a change of heart. Had a change of heart. Sometimes the road is the best remedy. How many more miles to Yosemite?
Saturday at 10 on WOUB.
Hidden deep beneath the Cumberland Mountains in Grundy County, Tennessee, lies one of the world's most magical musical adventures, the Cavern Sessions. 3 million years in the making, Pure Acoustics offer music from the heart of the American experience, center stage and deep inside the mountain. This time welcoming Lil Smokies. It's deep down musical diversity at the Cavern Sessions.
Friday at 11 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, at 31 and a half years old, the world's oldest dog has died. That's according to Guinness World Records. Bobby from Portugal was lucky to have made it to his first birthday, as he was born at the home of the Costa family, who planned to get rid of Bobby and the rest of his litter because the family couldn't afford any more pets. But when Leonel Costa hid one puppy from his parents, they said he could stay. Leonel believes Bobby's diet was one reason for his long life. The dog ate whatever the family ate. Now, here's Emily with a final look at weather.
Thank you. Tonight we're looking at a frost advisory for Newark, Lancaster, and just to the north of Athens. So we're expecting another chilly night tonight with that overnight low of 36 degrees with gorgeous clear skies. So a little bit chilly to go out and walk your dog tonight unless you and your dog are very bundled up, but a beautiful night to see some stars. Tomorrow, however, we are expecting a warm front to move through overnight tonight in the early morning hours of tomorrow, and it's really going to warm up quite nicely. We're expecting Athens tomorrow to have a high of 73 degrees with some more beautiful sunny skies, and that's going to affect our overnight low as well. We're going to see temperatures as low as 49 degrees, so pretty big shift from what we saw last night considering we were in the 20s. Now over the next couple of days, we're going to continue to see this warm weather stretching through the weekend and even a little bit into Monday. But we are looking at some rain as a large low pressure system with some stationary fronts associated with it are going to move through, and we're just going to see the tail end of that Saturday and Sunday, off and on Sunday and Monday, leaving us with that 50% chance of rain Sunday and Monday. But again, it'll be a beautiful week for any Halloween festivities coming up this week.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks so much for watching. For Donovan Vardy and Emily Dietz, I'm Ethan Sargent.
And I'm Reese Thompson. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.
Support for PBS NewsHour is proudly provided by Luke S. Frazier.